Hey chat, it has not been a while, and I am tired. Oh crap, oh my god, dude, I can't even, oh my god, I just started recording. Anyway, today I'm going to tell you a story of how I made a killer chicken robot in school. I'm going to be talking about how I made a killer chicken robot that has swords that shoot out of its wings and attacks robbers. That sounds ridiculous, it's because it is. It is extremely ridiculous. But anyway, here's the prompt. In our robotics unit for school, we had to design an automated like just anything automated via Vex Robotics. Now Vex Robotics are pretty cool. They're like they're pretty basic, so they're really good to learn basic robotics on. And to me, I was pretty new to it, so as it is, that was a lot of fun to learn to code and stuff like that. But for the final project of the unit, we had to make just anything automated with the Vex Robotics. And our shop already had a shop dog, so we decided, let's just make a shop chicken, and base it under none other. Oh my god! And base it on make it based on and base it off of none other than the Minecraft chicken. Now the Minecraft chicken, I don't know if you know this, but it's from Minecraft, right? So it fit pretty well to what I'm doing right now. So we started working on our basic design on what the chicken's gonna look like. Now for us, we just wanted something that drove around in like a little nest. Like we wanted to make a little nest around it with wheels underneath the nest. And then for me, I wanted the wings to like fold up, like up into like a flying position, and then for it to shoot like darts out the bottom of the wings towards its attackers. Now, as for the darts, I was given full responsibility of that. Not more or less the darts themselves, but the like weapon systems for it. I was given full responsibility for making the weapon systems, making sure they worked, coding them, stuff like that. Now, with the darts I was making, I had a design in mind, and I quickly realized that it was not going to be very like realistic. We didn't have any of those, like we had 3D printers, yes. But we only had a week to make this thing, so if I were to use like a program like SolidWorks or such that I'm not very good at to create an entire system for this and make it work with Vex motors, make sure all the math is correct and everything fits in place, that would take me way more time than I had, and it would test my patience to the point where I'd probably go insane. So I was like, okay, I don't want to spend 6 hours doing SolidWorks and make that my whole project. I want to actually build something with these Vex parts. So instead of making a dart, instead of making like a dart launching system, I decided, wouldn't it be cool if instead of making like shooting chicken, I just made samurai chicken. Like robotic samurai. Oh my god, all those diamonds just went to waste. Anyway, samurai chicken. So as we're working on making this samurai chicken, I come up with the basic design for how the sword is going to come out of the wing. Now at first I wanted to make it so the sword shot out to the side and then rotated into position facing forward, and I can't exactly show you how that works, but like, okay, give me a second. So I'll use the diamonds in my inventory as an example. So say this is like the plate that the wing is on, and this is the chicken, the wing flaps up, this is the plate, right? I wanted the sword to shoot out over here, shoot out to the side, and then rotate around facing forward. If this diamond is the sword. And then that seemed to be like the basic principle behind what I was doing. So eventually I allowed that to work, and instead of making it so it shot out the side and then rotated forward, I just had it rotate around in a full 180-degree angle. So the sword was actually facing backwards and like hidden in the wing, and then rotates forward to striking position so that we can see. So, well, basically, so that it shoots all the way around, hitting everything around it, as well as the attacker in front, or the supposed attacker. Now, that's my job complete. Now, we had multiple different other ways we wanted to do this. We had one other mechanism we wanted to put on it. One other thing we wanted to add onto it was if an attacker came in close, what we could do was we could make it so that its head would literally just pop off. Like, oh, he's popping off. No, I mean, like, literally pop off. Like, we had a stick that would shoot straight up with some, I guess you could say it was just like a wheel that had some, like, treads on it that would rotate up and have, like, a stick on it that would shoot a stick into the head, and the head would go straight up and off the robot, so it'd be like a headless chicken running around. That way, when we pushed, like, I say a Vex, I guess with A, if we were to press A on the controller we were using, then it would allow the head to just shoot off. Now, anyone who's watched BattleBots will understand what I'm about to say. We had two separate controllers for this thing. We had one controller that was coding it to move, that was coded to allow it to move around via have like the wheels on the bottom, which my friend Parker was working on, and I'm sure he'll be in a few videos. I play video games with him all the time. We just haven't had a lot of time recently. But he would control the wheels, which allowed it to move around. It would, like, we literally had wheels on it that allowed it to drift. So you see a samurai chicken drifting across the shop. You could like add the music to it. It would be so perfect, bro. You could add like the Tokyo Drift music to a chicken, like a Minecraft chicken made out of foam that's shooting around the shop, hitting people with just metal rods that shot out of the wings. Anyway, bro, this sounds a lot more dangerous than it was. I'm telling you right now, if the sword hit you, like realistically, you wouldn't even feel it. That's how weak it was. But it was still cool to us, making a samurai chicken. So anyway, with the head popping off, we managed to figure out how to do that fairly quickly. It was just a matter of if the pieces in the head, since they were constantly getting pushed on by the stick to push it up off the frame, since the pieces kept becoming loose, we had to like constantly try and fix it, because nor hot glue or duct tape would keep it in there. And you can't exactly use screws on foam, or at least not the foam we were using. We were using foam board, might be commonly known as foam. I don't think it was called foam core. Foam core might just be what laser engravers use it as, but we were using foam board, which is like a thin sheet of foam with paper on the outside, and you can't exactly screw that in there and have it be super reliable. It was kind of just as good, and duct tape's just easier. It had like the same effect. So we would use duct tape and hot glue, and neither of that could hold it on there for a decent bit of time. So what we did was we were just constantly fixing it, which, you know what, it's not that bad. It's not like the head was popping off every like 2 seconds. Like we would demonstrate it for people, and then we'd leave it alone, because not only would we have to fix it every time, but the motors would overheat, you know, standard maintenance. Ooh, the roles for the groups were pretty simple. Me, Parker, my friend Parker, and my friend John. We each were given the assigned roles. Like I said, I was in charge of the wings, the weapon system. Parker was in charge of allowing it to move around, giving it wheels, and making the nest on the bottom. And John was in charge of making the basic frame and the mechanism that had the head just shoot off the top. Now, there were a few errors. Now, we were going to get onto the hard part of this whole thing, and you'd think the hardest part would be the building it, but as a beginner coder, this was like a nightmare to me when it came to coding it. Like, I'm not even gonna tell you right now. I don't even think I did most of the code. I'm pretty sure the teacher did most of the code, because I kept asking for help over and over again, and the teacher was like, "What is it?" I'm like, "I broke it again," and they're like, "Of course you did," and then it's like my bad, my bad. It just exploded. What happened? You just caused it to explode. There's not even a way you can do that. Like, yeah, that happened. My bad. Let's just literally restart the whole code over again. I'm pretty sure it took us like more time to code it than it did to like actually build it itself. Like to make the designs for it and put all the parts together and create enough pieces for it to work. Nah, the block Vex code took me longer than the design process. The engineering design process. It took longer just to code it, because I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. None. Absolute zero. Like we did like lessons on it, and that was fun, but like it just wasn't enough for me, bro. I'm horrible at new softwares, and this wasn't even a software. This was a children's program, and I was struggling, and I was like, oh my, like banging my head against the desk. Like what am I even trying to do? Like, it's like now the wings are collapsing in on the robot itself, and it's gonna basically just implode on itself if I don't do something. So I'm like constantly like having someone on the stop button, like we're doing like we're defusing a bomb. Like, okay, if it goes wrong, you gotta press the stop button as fast as possible, or else the whole robot's just gonna implode. And everyone's like, okay, whatever you say. And then guess what? It didn't work. And I was like, oh, what a surprise. No, I was bad. Anyway, eventually, after a decent bit of time, we finally got the main, I don't even know how to, we got basically all the code working. And we were like, finally, it's all done. We're okay. We don't have to worry about anything. It's gonna be just fine. Let's just it was working. Like, it was working just fine for us. We did like 3 tests. We were like, okay, it's okay. We're not gonna change any of the code. I got it right after 4 hours of trying. Let's just show the teacher, get this part of the project checked off, and then start making the actual chicken aspect of it, because at this point it just looks like a brick of metal. And they're like, okay, let's do that. So we ran like 2 more tests on it. Everything was going perfectly fine. We bring it over to the teacher, and we're like, okay, we finished it. The teacher's like, great, let's look at it. So we load up the code, everything's going fine, and then we press the button, and one wing goes up, and then just sits there. Bear in mind, both wings were supposed to go up and the swords were supposed to shoot out. So like, we didn't even change anything. We've got 10 minutes left in the day, and it's like, what is going wrong? We look at the teacher, we're like, trust us, it was working 2 seconds ago, and they're like, oh, I believe you. Maybe. What did we even do? We didn't even change the code. The code wasn't even we didn't even change any of it. It was just like, I don't even know how to say it. It was like I don't even know. So we go back the next day and we fix it again. Turns out there was like, instead of rotate like left motor something forward 90 degrees, it was just supposed to set position to 90 degrees and then it would like fix it or something, but I don't know the difference that made. Or maybe the motors were just burning out, who knows. Other than that, we finally fixed it. We made the chicken head for it that now like just shoots off the top. And we got the award we got for that project, the award that like the teacher said like, oh, yours did this the best. We got the most dramatic, because who's gonna make something more dramatic than a samurai chicken that people literally back away from? The movements on this thing are so erratic and random that people back away when it turns on, even though there is like no danger in it whatsoever. There is no danger in it whatsoever. People would watch like the wings pop up and they just back away, like, even though it could cause literally no damage whatsoever. It was just so erratic and random. People were like, ugh, as it like started moving around. We even made a little skit for it where we had someone like holding like a bag of like ball pit balls again, and they were like, oh no, a robber, what will we do? And the chicken just started cruising down the middle hallway of the shop. As it was moving, its wings pop up, and then it would, as it was moving, its wings would pop up, and the swords would shoot out, and then it'd run over the guy, and the guy would be like, oh, I'm gonna stab it, and then he'd go and stab it, and then the head would fly off, and it would turn around and start booking it as slow as possible away. I'm pretty sure everything I've said in the last 15 minutes has been complete bullshit. Hopefully that this setting I have on, because someone in the last video told me that I have the wrong settings for it because I sound like you can hear me move around the microphone. So I think I fixed it. Honestly, what do we have left to do on this? Like, I know my brother, like, went crazy. My brother is so good at this game, bro. It's not even, like, remotely funny. Like, I play the game, we start the thing, we start the new Skyblock profile, I log off for the night after getting down here to this level of the caves, and then I'd come on the next day. My brother has been at school the same amount of time I have. He hasn't played that, like, I'm pretty sure, I mean, in the time I play, like, Apex or COD, he's playing this. All I know is I log on the next day, and my brother's here with, like, oh yeah, by the way, I got, like, 3 million coins, I got, like, a new aspect to the end for you. I basically just got us to the end game in a day. I'm like, Bobby, I can't even remember what I ate for breakfast this morning, and this man remembers the whole system of the game in its entirety. Like, I don't even get it. It is beyond me how he knows all this stuff.